Welcome, chosen ones. The impostor king is about to fall, and he doesn't even know the executioner is already in the room. That's you. You're not just a threat to his throne. You're the truth he can't survive. And the cosmic clock just struck midnight on his reign. Everything he built on, lies, manipulation, and stolen authority, is about to crumble in seconds. Not because you're attacking him, but because your mere presence exposes the foundation was always rotten. He thought he was untouchable. He really believed the crown was his by right, that the position was permanent, that the kingdom would bow forever. He surrounded himself with people who fed his delusion, who clapped for his performance, who sold their integrity for scraps from his table. But here's what he never saw coming. The real chosen one doesn't need to announce themselves. They just show up, and the entire atmosphere shifts. The fraudulent authority crumbles when authentic power enters the room. You're not here to compete. You're here to correct. The first thing you need to understand is that his confidence was always borrowed. He built his entire empire on mimicking strength he saw in others, copying leadership styles from people who actually earned their position, performing authority like an actor who studied the role but never lived the story. Every word he speaks is rehearsed. Every move he makes is calculated. Every relationship he maintains is transactional. He's been operating like a corporate CEO in a spiritual position, and the mismatch is about to become undeniable to everyone who's been pretending not to notice. You've been watching him for a while now, and something in you has been screaming that this isn't right. The way he demands loyalty but gives none, the way he preaches sacrifice while living in comfort, the way he claims to serve but only takes, the way he speaks about elevation but keeps everyone beneath him. You thought maybe you were being judgmental. You thought maybe you didn't understand the full picture. But your spirit was reading the energy correctly. Your discernment was picking up what your mind was trying to rationalize away. He's not who he claims to be, and you're the one who can prove it. Here's what makes you dangerous to him. You don't need his validation. You don't crave his approval. You don't fear his rejection. Those three things were his entire control system, the weapons he used to keep everyone else in line. He built his kingdom on people who needed something from him, who would compromise their truth to stay in his good graces, who would look the other way to maintain access. But you're not wired that way. Your integrity isn't for sale. Your truth isn't negotiable. And that independence terrifies him because he can't manipulate what he can't control. Watch what happens when you stop playing along, when you stop nodding at his empty philosophies, when you stop laughing at his hollow jokes, when you stop pretending his performance is impressive. The mask starts slipping immediately. He gets uncomfortable. He gets defensive. He starts questioning your loyalty, your understanding, your spiritual maturity. But what he's really questioning is your willingness to participate in his illusion, and your refusal to participate is the beginning of his end, because once one person stops clapping, others start noticing the emperor has no clothes. The thing about false authority is it requires constant performance. He has to keep proving himself because there's no substance underneath. Real authority doesn't need announcement. Real power doesn't need validation. Real leadership doesn't need constant defense. But he's exhausting himself trying to maintain the image, trying to control the narrative, trying to silence anyone who asks questions. And you're the question he can't answer. You're the truth he can't spin. You're the mirror he can't avoid. Just by existing in your authentic power, you expose everything he's been pretending to be. They've been watching you both, the people who follow him, the ones who bow and scrape and perform loyalty for their slice of his approval. They've been watching you refuse to bend, refuse to break, refuse to play the game, and something in them is stirring. Something they buried to survive in his kingdom is starting to wake up. They're starting to remember what real authority looks like. They're starting to recognize that the person who doesn't need the crown is often more qualified to wear it than the one clinging to it desperately. Your quiet strength is making his loud performance look exactly like what it is: desperation masked as confidence. Here's the part that's going to blow your mind. You're not trying to take his throne. You're not competing for his position. You're not even interested in his kingdom. But the universe is about to hand it to you anyway, because that's how cosmic justice works. When someone occupies a position they stole, manipulated into, or maintains through deception, the rightful owner eventually shows up, not to fight for it, but to claim what was always theirs. And the transfer happens so fast, the impostor barely has time to process what's happening before the crown rolls off their head and lands at your feet. The dethronement isn't going to be dramatic. There won't be a battle. There won't be a confrontation. There won't be an announcement. It's going to happen the way truth always wins, quietly, completely, undeniably. One day he's going to wake up and realize nobody's listening anymore. The people who used to hang on his every word are now turning to you for guidance. The authority he thought was permanent has evaporated overnight. The kingdom he built on manipulation has scattered because you offered them something he never could: authentic leadership, real wisdom, genuine care. You didn't steal anything. You just stopped pretending, and that was enough. His entire strategy has been to make you doubt yourself, to make you question whether you're seeing things clearly, to make you feel like you're being too critical, too harsh, too judgmental. But every time you pushed down that knowing, every time you silenced that discernment, every time you questioned your perception, you were actually giving him more power. The moment you trust what you see, the moment you honor what you know, the moment you stop apologizing for your clarity, his power structure collapses. Because his kingdom was built on collective denial, and you just stopped denying. Watch what happens in the coming days. Situations are going to arise that expose him completely, not because you orchestrated anything, not because you spread rumors or gathered evidence, simply because truth has a way of surfacing when the chosen one stops suppressing it. Conversations are going to happen that reveal his contradictions. Patterns are going to become visible that show his manipulation. Stories are going to emerge that confirm what you've been sensing all along. The universe is about to provide the evidence you never had to gather, the proof you never had to manufacture, the validation you never had to force. He's going to try to fight back. He's going to attempt damage control. He's going to spin narratives and play victim and point fingers. But here's the thing about authentic power versus performed authority. One of them holds up under pressure and the other crumbles. He's been operating in a system that rewards performance, but you're operating in a realm that rewards presence. He's been playing chess, but you're not even on the board. You're changing the entire game, and once people see that there's another way to move, another frequency to operate from, another standard to uphold, they can't unsee it. The hardest part for you isn't going to be the dethronement itself. It's going to be accepting that you were always meant for this, that the position he's occupying was actually prepared for you, that every challenge you faced was training for this exact moment, that your humility, your integrity, your refusal to compromise, those weren't weaknesses. They were the exact qualifications required for real leadership. He fought for a crown, you were forged into one. He performed authority, you embodied it. He demanded respect, you commanded it without trying. So, here's what you do now. Nothing. That's the most powerful move available. You don't expose him, you don't confront him, you don't gather troops or build alliances against him. You simply continue being exactly who you are. You keep speaking truth. You keep operating with integrity. You keep leading from authentic power, and watch how quickly everything aligns. Watch how fast people gravitate to real over fake. Watch how suddenly opportunities appear that were always meant for you, but were blocked by his presence in that space. The dethronement isn't something you do. It's something that happens the moment you stop letting him convince you he belongs there. The throne was never his. It was always yours. And in seconds, not years, not months, not even weeks, everyone is going to see what you've known all along. Welcome to your coronation, chosen one. The impostor king is about to bow.